As promised, let's see deep research in action. We are going to start with the topic understanding use case. And I picked an example that I think most of us can relate to personally. We are going to use deep research to cut through one of the most confusing topics in everyday life: breakfast nutrition. You know the feeling. You Google "Are eggs healthy?" and get 10 completely different answers, depending on which article you land on. To follow along with this demo, you will need a paid Gemini plan. If you are currently on a free plan and want to upgrade, check out the lecture in the introductory course section where I walk through how to do that. Okay, let's go. To launch deep research, open a new chat and choose deep research from the list of tools. By default, Gemini uses Google Search as its primary source, but you can expand that. For example, you can choose your Gmail or Google Drive as a source, or upload your own files. This is what makes deep research so powerful. It's not just searching the web. It can merge public information with your own private documents. For this demo, we will keep it simple and use web search only. Here is the prompt I'm going to use. Notice how specific this prompt is. We are not just asking, "What should I eat for breakfast?" We are giving deep research a clear research agenda with 3 distinct tasks. The more direction you give it up front, the more useful the output. And as for the model selection here, the specialist analogy we introduced earlier in the course stays exactly the same when you activate deep research. The mode you select dictates how that specialist behaves during the research process. Fast remains your sprinter, performing a broad, rapid scan of the most relevant sources to give you a quick summary without digging into every detail. Thinking is still your strategist, pausing to cross-reference multiple sources and resolving contradictions to find a more logical angle. Pro remains your expert, deep diving into everything from dense reports and technical PDFs to long email threads to give you a truly comprehensive synthesis. I'll choose thinking here. Now let's hit submit and see what happens first. This is the goal decomposition step, and it's one of my favorite parts of the process. Instead of diving straight into research, deep research pauses and builds a personalized, multi-step research plan based on your prompt. You can see it mapping out exactly what it intends to investigate. If you need to, you can edit this plan before it starts. If you want to direct it toward a specific angle, add a subtopic, or remove something that isn't relevant to you, do it now before a single search is run. For this demo, I'm happy with the plan as it is. So let's approve it and let it run. And now the search begins. Gemini is working through sources in real time: academic papers, nutrition guidelines, health publications. It is deciding which threads to investigate in parallel and which ones need to happen in sequence. You can even click on any of the websites here if you are curious on what sources Gemini is going through. As Gemini Deep Research reads each source, It does not just collect information and move on. It thinks about what to search for next. It is running a continuous self-critique process, spotting contradictions between sources, flagging vague or unsupported claims, and recognizing when a piece of data simply does not add up. You can see it adjusting its research directions in real time as new information comes in. And when it hits a dead end, say a study is behind a paywall or a website is down, it does not stop. It reroutes and finds another path to the same answer. There is one more thing that makes this possible at scale. Deep research works inside a context window, the AI's working memory. In practical terms, it means Gemini holds in memory every single source it has read for the entire session. Nothing gets lost or forgotten as the research grows. And this is also why follow-up questions later are so sharp. It never loses the thread of what it already investigated. And you might already guess you don't need to sit there watching all of this happen. Deep research is asynchronous. You can close the tab and get back to your work, and Gemini will let you know when your report is ready. If you are on the web app, you will see a notification appear next to the chat thread in your sidebar. And if you have the Gemini mobile app installed, you get a push notification straight to your phone. And I just got mine. Our report is ready. So let's get back to Gemini to take a look. This is what deep research delivers. And notice what it is not. It is not a list of links. It is not a bullet point summary. It is a structured, multi-page analysis with cited sources, organized sections, and actual conclusions you can act on. The tiered ingredient table we asked for is right here. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, clear, actionable, and based on current research. And if you are curious about any of the sources, every claim has relevant links. You can click through and read the original research yourself. Don't know about you, but it would have taken me hours to read through all of these resources and compile the report manually. And it is important that deep research is not replacing your judgment. It is doing the tedious groundwork so that your judgment is actually more informed. In our next lecture, we will take deep research into a personal context and walk through a few more examples. I'll see you there.